And we're back. Another episode of Off the Parkway podcast. I'm your host, James, and my co host there, Big Sue. And we are here today to bring up whatever we want to talk about. You know,
Yeah, man. Was good, man. How's
hey,
your day
man.
today, my boy?
Hey, day was well, man. Was able to, was off today. And that was good.
Must be
Anytime you're
nice.
off, that's good. I don't know about
Must be
that.
nice. I was working. It was cold outside. It was windy.
Well, it
I was
definitely was windy.
I
It
was in the
definitely was
fields,
windy.
man. I was in the fields out there, ripping and running, man. But yeah, man. Anytime you get some time off, that is nice. Must be nice, Must be nice. Come with penalties, but
I wouldn't say that. They just regular days off, but
it's no regular days off when it comes to you, man. You live a lifestyle that many would only could dream of. So when your day off consists of the things that it consists of, I'm not going to get into it in these podcast airwaves, but man,
yeah, because
it was
it's
false.
false. Yeah,
False
because it's
isn't
false.
true. False isn't true.
There's no truth about this, buddy. But I can tell you
Because
one thing.
listen, when you have a day off, that signals that you have a job. But we got some dudes out here who ain't got no jobs no more. And some dudes who caught some L's lately. Some firings out here, some big time firings that happened. Who was it? Brian Daboll and
No,
from the New York Giants coach, and Nico Harrison, the GM for the Dallas Mavericks.
no, yeah.
Uh,
The newly unemployed.
Newly unemployed, man. Like that. Listen, man. This ain't a good time not to have a job, man. Even though, hey, man, the government opened back up, the shutdown is over, but
Shutdown's over.
for a while, we had some people that wasn't working, or they was working, not getting paid. So it felt like he wasn't working. You ain't have a job, you ain't getting paid, free labor. But when you ain't got no job, man, yeah, we always got to look at the why. What happened? You know what I mean?
I, I I can tell you right now, them people happy. They getting them large checks that's coming in. That retro pay is kind of extensive right now. I just seen a article that I think it was TSA that they was getting $10,000 checks. I was like, yo, that's
Oh,
crazy.
okay. Okay, so they're gonna
Yeah,
get it all in
so
one lump sum?
yeah, most likely, yeah. It depends on what it was, but most of them they probably getting like lump sums and stuff like that, which is good. You know what I mean? It's
That's gonna
good to
feel
get
like a big
everybody
bonus
back to
check,
work.
man. That's gonna
Yeah,
feel like a
yeah.
big bonus check. No, that's
Now
that's good. Yeah, I mean, I know
the
people who been flying.
airports are back too.
That's the
The,
big part right there, man.
air-
I know
the
for people who
airports are back.
flying. I know that was a big inconvenience right there. But no, it's good. People getting paid again. You know what I mean? So that's it.
Yeah,
But
that's just
yeah, man. Like these firings, man. So, like, what was your thoughts on? Well, let's talk about the Brian Dayball fire. We talked about it on the last pod,
yeah,
and before it actually even happened, we was talking, what he might get
yeah.
fired and things like that. And we didn't dig all the way into it because nobody on the pod has any love for the Giants, so we just like we don't really care, like that about it anyway, whatever. But it happened. Was you surprised? Did you feel like it was something that was necessary, or did you feel like he got like a bad rap?
Nah, I think him and what I mean, and just to bring up Nico, I think those were the two most highly anticipated firings that was in sports right now. I
Mm-hmm.
think, people in New York, this fan base was clamoring for him to be fired because of their record. That wasn't good.
Mm-hmm.
Bad quarterback play, and he's supposed to be the quarterback whisperer.
Mm-hmm.
Especially when Russ was there. He had some potential with Daniel Jones. And as you can see, Daniel Jones is showing what he's doing now, which played a part into into the firing,
Yeah.
But the highlight of it was Jackson Dart. He did get him some playing time early, and you see the Giants' future right there. My problem is that why fire him now?
Mm-hmm.
They wasn't going anywhere, so might
Mm-hmm.
as well wait to the end of the year to see how that relationship could develop with him and Jackson Dart to see maybe what he can get out of him since he is good with quarterbacks. But he's gone. This is what they wanted, and this is what you're gonna get.
Like for me, like did he? It would did I feel like it was a long time coming, or like he deserved it? Like again, as I just stated before, I have zero love for the Giants. I am, uh, Giants is the local team. Giants and the Jets for people
Yeah,
that live in this area of the country, and I always hated the New York Giants. I never liked them. Fans make me hate teams, not teams. It's fans. So obnoxious people talking about the Giants over the years. Never liked them. But I always look at things objectively. I felt like I used to look at the way that Giants fans used to talk about Danny Dimes, man. And I used to always say, I don't think he's the problem. You know what I
yeah,
mean? For years, he didn't have protection. Then, just fast forward a little bit, the successful stint, where Brian Daboll did well was with Danny Dimes. That was it. That his first year that he was the head coach.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
It might have been. And
yeah,
they they had a pretty good year together. And Brian Daboll, before he came to the Giants, he was the offensive coordinator in Buffalo, and
yeah,
he was kind of credited for working with, obviously, working there and making sure that that offense flourished over there, and they got better, as the years went on. And obviously, the quarterback there,
yeah. Josh Allen.
look how well Josh Allen does,
Yeah,
and he's kind of credited for that, you know. But when he came over to the Giants, I felt like he put together a system and it was working up to a point. But at the end of the day, you got to have talent around you. You got to have the right personnel to implement what you want to do. And you had
mm-hmm,
Saquon there. You had some talent at one point, but then as injuries start to happen, people leave, and your defense isn't that good. It's gonna affect your whole team,
yeah,
And I think he kind of got a bad rap for that. And you mentioned the Jackson Dart thing. I think it's important to kind of highlight that Brian Dayball he was the one who brought Jackson Dart in.
yeah,
The GM didn't want to
yeah.
draft
No,
Jackson Dart.
no.
Like it was Brian Dayball who convinced them that Jackson Dart was the person they should bring in. So now they clearly got their franchise quarterback. They all over him. The city, the toast of the town. Everybody like him. And Brian Dayball is the one who's responsible for having him on the franchise itself. And now he ain't gonna even be able to work with him. I think that it would have been nice to give him a full season with him being the guy. A
Yeah,
full season with him being the guy, a full season with him having all the weapons that he's gonna have with him being the guy. Cam, Scatterboo, gonna have neighbors right there. Assume that they all been back from injury and ready. I think he got a bad, bad rep with that one right there. I think if he would have had one more year to see if he can do something without seeing if it was going to work with Russ, without seeing it was going to work with anybody else. Jackson thought was the guy from day one in camp, and we roll out the carpet, see what he's going to do with it, and then see it from at that point. And if it doesn't work out, then all right, that's not our guy. You move on. But
man,
it's what
man.
it is.
Nick. We Nick fans, so you
Mm,
know how it is with the fan base.
right.
Giants is even worse. Ain't
Mm,
nobody trying to see old chubby quarterback whisperer yelling at the players and his coaches. They ain't trying to hear none of that. They trying to see him going, man. And that's what happened. They said screw him, and actually they should have fired Joe Shane too. They should have got rid
I
of
don't
him
know
too.
how he get
Yeah.
saved himself from this whole thing.
They should have started from scratch. They should have just got rid of both of them and just started from scratch because he's terrible too.
He's a big part of the problem in my
Like
estimation.
and that's the crazy thing about football. You know that you need an offensive line and a defensive line. Those are two big things that you know that you need, and they always fall short on one of them.
They got the defensive line. They
Yeah,
got the defensive line down pat, but that offensive line, the Giants has not had a good offensive line for a very long time. That was the
right.
part of the problem with in some of those Eli years. You
Yeah,
know, like
yeah,
Eli used to get his head tore off and throw interceptions because he wasn't being protected. You know, and they haven't fit now. I mean, he doesn't. You know, the GM doesn't. You know, reach back all the way that far, but still, it's great.
yo, that's what I said. At the end of the
He saved
day,
himself.
if I was the owner, I would have had to start fresh, find me a new GM, find me a new coach. Because right now, the GM's gonna find a new coach, and if he's a part of the problem, that new coach don't even stand a chance neither.
Mm-hmm.
And it's too. And to be honest with you, for a big market like the Giants, this is a lot of turnover. A lot of turnover for the coaches. You shouldn't have that going on in New York. You need to find and number one, who they gonna get?
But that happens in New York all the time because there is no patience in New York. Again, we Knicks fans, we know that, you know, and like the Knicks went through a period where they just was Russian roulette with the coaches. You know what I mean? Just giving them about a year and a half, and then boom, go to the next one. Tibbs, he had a long stint, but look at that. You know, you got a coach who makes it to the conference finals, give
Yeah,
them the most success that they had in decades, and he's gone. You know, whatever the reasons you can say, whether he deserved to be gone or not, be that as it may,
yeah,
he was the most successful coach we had since since Van Gundy, damn near, and he was out. You know, so New York don't care. The media gonna put pressure on these franchises, and the fans are knowledgeable in their sports, especially basketball and football. And if they don't like you, they gonna push to get you up out of there. And they people was really starting to, run thin on Brian Dibble. I think the fact the way they used him, he started, once he got hurt. If he didn't get hurt in that Bears game, I think he'd have been all right. But I think you started hearing the media talk about like, why you got this guy running? He's a franchise
yeah,
quarterback. Why is
yeah,
he, too
yeah.
many run schemes? Well, so it was the last straw. It was comeback. So started with Denver. And so
Of course, you got to say that. Of course,
23 point
of course.
lead and started
Well,
with Denver, man.
the offense can put up, and also, I mean, it didn't end at the end of the day. Hold up, the defense played a big part too. You know what I mean? If the offense is putting up these numbers, if they putting up 30 something points, that should be enough.
Get a stop.
They can't, they couldn't stop a cold. You know what I
Get a
mean?
stop. With that defensive
You know what I
line,
mean?
can't get a stop. Had a
That's what
sack
I'm
leader,
saying.
Brian Burns, sack leader, can't get a stop. But
So it
yeah,
looked
man.
like you might have some cleaning house to do on the coordinators too.
Yeah. Well, the offensive coordinator took over for the
Yeah,
Giants in the meantime.
he's the coach now.
Yeah.
Kafka.
So that I guess it rubbed off all the way down to we talk about GMs that should have got fired in the Giants. Well, Mavericks ain't wasting no time. They fired their GM Nico Harrison.
But
They
hold up, Sue, hold up. Who you think gonna get the job for the Giants?
for the Giants.
Yeah, who you
Um,
think gonna get the job?
so obviously you hearing Belichick name out there.
Yeah,
You hearing Lane Kiffin name out there. You hearing
Herb
you hearing
Gruden.
Gruden name out there.
Yeah.
So there's some names out there, and those the big names. I think Lane Kiffin would be a pretty good, would be a pretty good pick right there. He's somebody who did have a chance, I think, with the Raiders some years ago. It
Yeah,
didn't really,
yeah,
it didn't really work out. But Lane Kiffin coached Jackson Dart in college,
yeah.
so you got that connection there. That's your franchise quarterback. So
Mm-hmm.
just to keep some continuity going, instead of finding a whole new offensive coordinator that's going to come with a whole new scheme that he's going to have to learn, it's almost going to be like he's starting over again. You know what I mean? So that's if you want to keep some continuity going, maybe get some familiar, somebody who he's familiar with,
Yeah,
who he
yeah.
has success with. I would think Lane Kiffin, who does does pretty well in college, and probably became an NFL coach too soon when he did get the job back in the day. But now he's then coached a few years in college and more seasoned. And so now he probably be ready to take on that responsibility, and he'll do well with it. So between Gruden, between Belichick, I wouldn't mind Lane Kiffin.
Yeah, I hope they don't do Belichick. You know what I mean? That don't go after the big name like that. I think Belichick is pretty much done. But I'm hearing he wants to come back. But I've been hearing the reports for the Notre Dame coach. I forgot Buddy's name, but you know what I mean, he's been a dark horse name that could come out and land a job. But
Mm-hmm.
Gruden still got that stigma on him from that BS he had going on with the emails
Right,
with the yeah. So I don't know if they're gonna do that. You know, I think he might need to take a coordinator job first before he can land a big job first.
right.
But whoever and also whoever's the top coordinators on the offensive and defensive end, I think they're gonna want an offensive coordinator, but whoever's the top offensive coordinator, they're gonna give him a look. But right now, it's not that great of a candidate pool for head coaches, and it's gonna. And on top of that, it's gonna be at the end of every season, it's about 5 or 6 jobs open.
Yeah, no, yeah, yeah. So, but the Giants' job is going to be highly coveted.
Yeah,
Again, Jackson Dart, for whatever it's worth, he is pretty good. He did look good. He's a tough kid. He got some wheels. He got a decent throwing arm. He made some good decisions out there. And the sample size that we got from him is pretty good. Cam Scatterbull, if he recovers from his injury and come back to the form he was at before he got hurt, he's gonna be a running back that's gonna be a problem. He's straight bowling ball. You got Malik Neighbors, hoping that he comes back. And remember, Jackson Dart was doing all this stuff without Malik Neighbors. So if Malik Neighbors come back and is not as injured, that's going to be a team that anybody's going to want. Because the defensive line is already set. They just probably going to have to form out the offensive line to be able to protect Dart, fill out some other holes on defense, like the second and third level, and that division ain't that good as far as I'm concerned. So they'll have a shot. I mean, you just got
hey,
the Eagles, Dallas, and Washington. Washington looking like frauds, even though boy got hurt, but still they wasn't winning before he got hurt. But whatever.
hey man, I tell you one thing, you might have to go and get my boy, man. Must be the money. He'll get my man prime time.
Man, by the time prime time get to the league, man, he gonna have about 4 toes, like all together. I ain't talking about on 1 foot all together. He gonna have like 4 toes left. You know
Tell
what I
you,
mean?
man, get my man Prime out there and go get his son from over there from Cleveland.
That'd be
Make him the
interesting.
backup.
That'd be interesting. But man, they ain't nobody gonna touch Dion.
Yeah,
They ain't
nah,
gonna.
I think Dion might be done, yo, all the way. He got a lot of health issues, yo. He
Right,
might be
right,
done.
yeah.
You know what I mean? But we'll see what happens. They're gonna make their decision soon because there's only what about 7 weeks left? 6, 7 weeks left.
Mm-hmm.
We'll know something
Yep.
very, very soon. So, what I mean, we going to Nico, man, the next guy up. Mr. The Dallas sending him death threats. They at every game they booing him, chanting F Nico. He is now the man who's known for trading Luca. So right now they fired him, but I don't think it should be all on him. But he was, to me, he was an aggressive GM, which could be good and bad. He had a lot of good players on that team that he did trade away to. He had Quentin Grimes, you know what I mean? And Quentin Grimes is balling over there in Philly. Old Nick too. Uh, but he did put a good team together. The problem is they might be the most all-time hurt team. You know what I mean? The players is the all-time hurt, injury-fed players ever. AD is always hurt. Kyrie's always hurt. Those two, what you gonna get? But he never had a healthy team to be fired for. He got fired 10 games in, and they never played. What, AD played one game? 2 games?
Yeah, he
I
played a
don't think
couple.
that's
Yeah.
right. I don't think that's right at all. I think you got to give him a little bit more time to see his plan before you get rid of him. Because at the end of the day, you're still stuck with him. You're still stuck with those players. You Now you're gonna do a fire sale. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on now. He did have a vision. Was it the best thing of getting Luca? But at that time, he really felt that Luca and what we got, this Luca that we got now, wasn't going to be Luca we got we what we would have if he didn't get traded. Luca would still be fat Luca, still be doing whatever he want to do. This Luca is motivated because he got traded. So, you know what I mean? If he was the one that set Luca off and got him right, that's all so be it. But Luca in Dallas wasn't going to end out right. He was going to score, but he was going to score 30, but he was going to give up 35. You know what I'm saying? So, did Nico deserve it? It was going to happen eventually, but I think he should have had more time to let the see give him the season at least before you let him go. I don't think they was going to be that good anyway, but give him the season before you let him go. Don't let him go with 10 games in, and then you're gonna say that he was wrong for trading him when you the owner who signed off on it. And the owner was talking he was talking crap too.
Mm-hmm.
Saying this dude was saying Luka was out of shape, X, Y, and Z. He's like, hey, we don't need that type of stuff on the team. If you ain't gonna come here and work hard, this and that. Come on, man.
I think that. See, I disagree. I think the moment he traded Luka Doncic, he was on the clock,
Yeah.
and we could say, listen, I understand Fat Luka. He was out of, he was somebody out of shape, and maybe he looked like he was had too much leeway, or he didn't put enough professionalism into it as he was supposed to, being part of the Dallas Mavericks. But Fat Luka will still give you 27,
Oh
27,
yeah.
7 and 8 a game.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah. He gonna get
Fat
you.
Luka still led that team to the finals.
Yeah.
You can't forget that. So to trade a generational talent, a top five player in the league for Anthony Davis, where I guess if you're looking at in the big globe, like, yeah, it would be good if he was healthy, if he was a healthy person. But Anthony Davis is Anthony Davis. What did he think was going to happen once he got to the team? That he was just going to all of a sudden be just this healthy person that never got hurt? Some people are just built differently. Some people don't get hurt. Some people stay healthy throughout the length of their career, and some people just deal with injuries. And basketball is just one of those sports where it's gonna if you not built a certain way, your body gonna break down. And Anthony Davis' body broke down, and it's been broken down for years. You know what I mean? And I don't know why he thought that was gonna change. So to bring him in there to think that, all right, with Kyrie, with Clay, and they didn't think they was going to get a number one pick, so we can't even add the whole Cooper Flag part to it all because we
Yeah,
didn't
yeah.
know that. So to think that that was going to be the team that was going to be better than what they had with Luka Doncic that went to the finals. Remember, that team went to the finals. This wasn't a team
Yeah.
that was just some bottom feeding team, LaMelo Ball, who just looked good by himself, but the team losing. No, Luka wins. Like, so he's been the number one guy on the team that wins, and Anthony Davis has never been the number one guy on the team that went that far. They won a little bit with New Orleans when they went to the playoffs, but they ain't go past whatever first round. So
Yeah, no.
he was on the clock. He was on the clock, and now you add the fact where Luca come back motivated, skinny, averaging 37, and just look the way he looked right now. And it was just a matter of time, like I don't know. And then let's look at just look at the whole intricacy behind the whole deal that happened in the team that he's traded with. You got Rob Pelinka, who's the GM for the Lakers, and Nico Harrison came up under him. Like,
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like when he was Kobe's agent and all that stuff, like Nico worked under Rob Pelinka, so they have a relationship, and that's who you do the deal with. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Like, look like you just did some deal with your friend. That's the if we GMs and presidents of teams, and we just like, yeah, all right, what I mean, we're gonna do this deal that nobody else would have did. No two other GMs would have did in the league. But we have a relationship, and we're gonna make that happen. That looked funny, and now it doesn't work out. He was on the clock. He was on the clock,
Yeah.
man. So like you can't justify making that move to begin with. Nothing he said made sense. Then you make the move. Everything that could have happened was going to happen with AD getting hurt. Nobody should have been surprised about that. Luke is motivated. He looks good. Got to go. That was a stupid move. You got to go. The owner, he could afford to put that on somebody else. He the owner. So yeah, you know what? It's on you. I gave you the power to make that decision. It didn't work out. You got to go. I look good because I got rid of the person that got rid of Luca, and now it is what it is. Man, he's on the clock.
Those
He
those
will never
those
get another
teams.
job.
Oh, no, no, no. He's never gonna get another job. He's gonna be tarnished. He's
Not
gonna be
no
done.
GM job.
No, no, no. He's done. But the thing is also, and you said that Fat Luca would have gave, he was top five, but Fat Luca got exposed in the finals when it came to Jason Tatum and old boy. They actually they played him well, and that's why they went and won them finals that year. But a lot of times when Luca made it to the playoffs, his teams overachieved because I'm looking at it. Their records wasn't the greatest. Like the years when they first year with them, they was 7 seed, and then they never made it to no higher than the fourth seed. They was 5 and 4. So, you know what I mean? At the end of the day, they seemed like they was working real hard, and I can understand that from, what I mean? And another thing, American players versus European players, two totally different things. Nico is big time American player. I mean, he's standing with American players. So if you see somebody busting their tail, working hard like a Jason Tatum out there busting his tail every day to be the best, and you see this dude walking around drinking beers and smoking hookah and coming out there give you 35, but then he actually ain't playing no defense at all. And he's playing defense now. It ain't the best, but he's playing more defense now than he ever did before. Luca, Luca ain't top five to me. You know what I mean? When it came down to both sides of complete player, he's not. Offensively, that's a different ball game. But complete player, no, he's not top five. You know what I mean? But the thing is that Nico wants to build a culture of hard nose, you play hard, this and that. Luca wasn't that. He was too comfortable. He was the man out there. And he's young. You know what I mean? And you don't want to pay him that supermax. You don't want to give nobody a supermax, 400 something million for somebody who don't take the game seriously. He just show up and give you 35, after drinking and smoking all day. You know what I mean? So I get it. I don't, you know what I mean? He made this, I give him credit for just standing on his business and making that decision on his own. Because that's a tough decision.
Mm-hmm.
That's a real tough one. That's a tough decision right there, man. How the hell you gonna say, "Hey, I'm gonna trade my best player," and
I,
thinking that it's okay?
I don't think it was tough for him at all. I like to make something to make that trade like that. He thought that was something to do.
Yeah.
Let me just say, man. You said Luka ain't a top five player. There ain't five players better than Luka Doncic on this planet, bro. Is he a defender? No,
Nah.
he's not. He's not a defender. Nobody's gonna mistake him to be a defender. You even said that he got exposed in the finals. I don't think he got exposed. I mean, he's not a defender. You know what I mean? And
Well, that's the point right there. They exposed that to take advantage
it's not
and
exposed. Everybody knew that. No,
I
he
mean
always he always get hunted. You know,
he
his
got
whole
it.
career he get
He got to
hunted
move
all the
his
time.
feet.
You know, it's easier said than done. His build, even as skinny Luca, his build isn't for defense. Now, you want him to make attempts and try to play defense, you
Yeah,
know.
yeah.
So
I think
he
that's
could
what
try,
we
but like you know, they always going to hunt him, you know. And you had two elite wings and Jason Tatum and Jalen Brown, who's been knocking on the door for a championship for years. They wasn't going to be denied right there at that time or whatever, you know what I mean? So it was just Luca as far as a wing. They had Derek White. You had Holiday that you can defend him with, along with Jalen
Yeah.
Brown. To me, he wasn't necessarily exposed. It was too much for him. They got Minnesota took a chunk out of him before they got to the finals because that was a hard fought series a little bit. You know what I mean? And Boston just coasted to the finals for the most part. You know what I mean? I know they kind of beat Indiana and they kind of gave them a little bit of a run, but man, they did what they
Nah,
want to.
Indiana
But
ain't did crap.
yeah, I'm talking about that. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
but Luca, listen, man, Luca is that deal. I mean, it's an overall basketball player, a passer, IQ, how he facilitates,
Yeah.
how he controls the tempo of the game. It's not just scoring with him, you know. Defense, you would like him to be a better defender, but he's not, you know. But it's not five players better than that boy, man. Luca is different. He's just different. But so when you trade a player like that good, a top five, whether we agree with it or not, you know, top five talent or whatever, let's just widen it up and say top 10, just so you know
Well,
everybody on
yeah,
the same
he
page.
would be top 10 for me.
You know, so you know, you just don't do that because so if he top 10 for you, what would AD be for you?
I'm not putting AD in it because he's never available.
And that's what I'm saying. So whether he's a
I
top
can't count
five
on
or a top
AD.
10 player,
Yeah, I can't
AD's a
count on
top
AD.
10 talent, but
Yeah,
his
but
availability
I'm not
it
keeping him.
knocks him down to, you know, this is no different than Joel Embiid. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So
nah.
yeah, man, that was gonna happen. He was on the clock, and once the year started the way it was, you know, how much do you need the GM anyway? You know what I'm saying? So they're gonna still play. Jason Kidd's still a coach. Um, man, I don't know how much that's gonna affect him going forward. You know, but they're gonna have to figure that out, and they need to get healthy. You know, so whenever Kyrie get back, if AD, if he got anything left in the tank, whatever. One thing that's not being talked about, Clay is done. He is finished. He's just not shooting the ball well. He's not defending well. You know, he's never really been the same since those injuries.
Nah,
So
he just winning other places. That's all.
if that's winning, you know what I mean? Like,
He's just winning in other places right now. That's all. He happy. He's just happy to be here, man. That's all. He's
yeah,
just showing up.
yeah,
Clay just showing up, man. That's it.
yeah. That
It's time for
is,
him. It's time for him to go, and I think he knows it, man.
yeah. So that it is what it is. I don't know who would be the next GM. Who would care? You know, you just pick
Nah, nah, nah,
whoever's the
nah.
next
Yeah,
whoever's the next rising star out there that they can pick at. But they might. I could see them. Bob Myers being a candidate out there if he wants to come back.
uh, yeah,
You know,
nah. He took over. He took over some league or something. Bob Myers.
that's right. That's right. I did
Yeah,
hear
he's
about that.
like the new president or something over there.
Right. Yeah,
So
yeah,
Bob Myers is getting that bread right now. You know
yeah.
what I mean? I didn't realize how much of a hot commodity he was in all aspects of the game like that. You know what I mean? Like, cause you know he was the GM, but the way how they talk about him, they have real high regard for him. So
Yeah.
I was, you know what I mean? I thought he was gonna look for another, GM job or president job. Nah, he went for a whole new dang, you know what I mean, to be on
Mm-hmm.
top of the world on something. I say, that's crazy. But hey, you know, Nico's gone. Got Brian Daboll gone. You know, this some teams ain't playing no more.
Nope.
You know what I mean? They not. You getting shorter and shorter leashes, just like the college game now. They're gonna get shorter, shorter leashes as because they're now professionals.
Mm-hmm.
Teams are not playing around. They're trying to win. If they feel like they're in a position to win, I need look out for the Clippers.
Mm-hmm.
Will they fire? Will they fire old boy Ty Lue?
I don't know. I think Tyloo is another coach that's highly is always going to
Yeah,
be in high demand. And I mean, they put together a veteran team. They got the stars that's on the team is veteran. You got Kawhi, who comes with what he comes with. He's not going to be available all the time. And you got James Harden, who has declined somewhat. He's still pretty good, but he's not. He's not Houston James Harden. So when you build it around aging stars in their 30s, uh, how early in the season is not going to look as good as they're going to look when they get closer to the end of the season. So
yeah.
they just got to kind of, and I think trading away Norman hurts them. You know what I mean? Because he doing what he doing out of Miami. So that the players that can kind of carry it till they get to the end of the year, and then they can start taking over. It just isn't there.
And Bill out for the year too.
Bill who?
Bradley Bill.
Oh, Bill. Oh, Bill. Yeah,
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 yeah, yeah.
he's out for the year. He's getting his I think he had like a fracture in his hip. So he's gone for the year.
That's another one, man. We're gonna have to break down these injuries, man, with some of these dudes, man. Like because like you got Bradley Bill, you got you got it's some other players out there that gotten hurt and injured over the years, and now their career is just like it ain't the same. You can't even look at it the
Yeah.
same. Like you got Oladipo trying to make a comeback. He in the G League
Yeah,
right
yeah,
now,
yeah. I
but
watched some highlights of him. You know what I mean? I don't know what's gonna happen with him. I all for him giving it another shot, but he might be another one that might just be done. But hey, it is what it is. But on the bright side of things, what I mean, got Curry. He and Under Armour, they parted ways. He's a free agent now. You know what I mean? The Under Armour really underperformed under, what I mean, with him, with the status of player that he is. They didn't really sell as many sneakers that they would, like if it was a Nike or it was Adidas. But he claims that now he wants to do his own independent brand under the Curry name. So we'll see what happens with that one as he decides how to progress in that search on how to get people to create sneakers and stuff like that.
listen. Curry, generational talent, great player, top. I mean, top 10, top 15, whatever you want to put him into the all time list. He's up there with as high as you can get him, and he took a chance with Under
Yeah,
Armour. He took a chance. Like obviously you going up against the Giants with Adidas and Nike, Jordan, all that stuff, and he went with he went Under Armour, and I think that was a pretty good partnership. I think it benefited Curry, because it kind of it stood him apart from things. Now you ain't gonna hear somebody say, "Yeah, I'm trying to get those new Currys." You know
nah,
what I mean?
not
You
at
ain't
all.
hear that, but it's
Mm-mm.
still, it's still. I think he helped uplift the brand of Under Armour because Under Armour isn't necessarily known for their sneakers like that, but the other sporting apparel that Under Armour makes, whether it's the compression stuff,
Yeah,
uh, you know gear and things like that. You know, he was attached to that. And I think it was a good partnership. It was a good marriage, and some marriages and partnerships have expiration dates, and theirs ended. You know what I mean? And like, I don't know. I know he's trying to, go a little independent with it and things like that. I don't think that's gonna work. Well, he's still got a
Nah.
couple years left. He might as well just go ahead and
Yeah,
sign with Adidas and
he's on the
Nikes.
older end.
He
He's
might as well
too
sign
old
with
now.
Adidas and Nikes and call it
Yeah.
a day, man. Like they'll throw some money at him as Curry. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, that's a
I had a pair.
end of an
I had a
era.
pair of Currys. I did have a pair, and they were uncomfortable. I can
I,
tell you that.
I bought my son some Currys before. You know what I mean? The ball in, but I mean, I yeah, I mean, just the look of Under Armour's, man. I wear size 15. I don't need to be wearing that's gonna look clunky on me already. You know what I mean? They're just not a smooth sneaker to me. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I could tell you
The
one thing.
shirts and stuff like that, yeah, I wear all that.
I could tell you one thing. I know who need to join them. Somebody tell The Rock to get his ass out of there too, because
Yeah.
them sneakers ain't about nothing either. And you know what I mean? You would think Under Armour, he would do better Under Armour because they're more like a training. You know,
Mm-hmm.
people like to train in Under Armour gear and
Right,
stuff like that.
right,
You would
right.
think he would do whatever. His clothes sell well, but them shoes ain't about nothing. I can tell you that right now.
And that's what I think that, what keeps the brand, where it is like that part of it, what they sell. Like sneakers ain't gonna be it, man. It's
Nah.
nah, like not even count Nike and Adidas, but like Puma's ahead of Under Armour sneakers, New Balances ahead of Under Armour sneakers. Like, what I mean? There's just
Yo,
other,
New Balance is on the way up.
yeah, yeah,
They
yeah,
got a lot of young players on their roster right
Mm-hmm.
now. They got
So,
Cooper Flag, they got
mm-hmm,
Maxi, they got old boy from Denver. What's
mm-hmm,
his name? Murray. They got a
and
lot of players over there.
Kawhi already been on there.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, somebody gonna I'm gonna give away the lead out to De'Aaron Fox too, because he was under Curry too.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, yeah, he was the first Curry player.
Uh,
So
I
so
didn't know that.
yeah, he had the Curry, but it was the swiper the
Oh,
Foxes.
okay,
You know what
okay.
I
Well,
mean?
I
So
didn't know that was under.
yeah, that
Yeah.
was all Under Armour. So you know what I mean? As he was the first one, he's now the last because they're done now. So
Yeah.
way to lead go to him, man. But definitely Rock need to go longs with him and get him some new shoes. Maybe he need to go to New Balance or something too. You know, so I because his name too big. You know what I mean? Pause on that. His name is a big time name that people will buy these shoes. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? Curry would have been such a better name if he had Nikes on or Adidas. To be honest with you, that
Yeah.
his name would be crazy.
It would be some sneakers out there if he was on one of those that everybody would have been scooping up, man. Like, but
Yeah,
and he could have kind of had his own type of like section of Nike or D. I could have seen him doing like maybe he would have did Nike, LeBron over there, stuff like that. Maybe he could have did Adidas, and he would have been big for them. He
yeah,
would have been huge for them. But it is what it is.
yeah. You know what I mean? Good luck to that brother, man. Shout out to Curry, man. You know what I mean? Hope everything work out with you, Steph. You know what I mean? Good luck in the future. Just hope you don't if you're gonna be independent, be all the way independent and show everybody entrepreneurship. But if not, you know what I mean, your last few years, go to Adidas or Nike, man, and live it up.
Mm-hmm.
Enjoy the fame, man. But you know what I mean, that's us. That's all we got for today. You know what I mean? If y'all like this type of content, hit that like button, share, subscribe. Uh, we are now on Spotify. You know what I mean? We're on YouTube now and on Spotify. So if y'all
Nice,
want to go
nice.
listen to us while y'all in your car or y'all in the gym, man, just pop on that Spotify, man, and go search off the Parkway podcast and just listen up, man. We appreciate y'all. And to the next time, we'll see you when we see you.